What's happening, guys? I'm Joe. Today we're checking out my 1981 F150. This truck is as plain Jane as it gets, but I love it. It's super reliable, easy to work on. It's got a straight six 4.9 carbureted motor, automatic C6 automatic transmission, and a 9-inch rear end. It is pretty darn bulletproof as far as like good old Ford parts are to come. I've robbed some parts off of it here and there in the winter. I think all I really took off was the fuel pump, but today we're going to put that back on, get this thing fired up for the first time this spring, and take it down to my shop and see if we can do a little fixing on it. So we've got everything we need to make it run here. We've got a battery, some starting fluid, the fuel pump, an inline filter, and I got some barbs to go right into the carburetor. So let's get to it. There we go. I've got a couple different fittings here, and I'm gonna put them together like this. The whole rigmarole, that, you know, tightish enough. I'm just gonna go right into the inlet over here. This was at one point a mechanical pump. That went out quite last year when I got this thing. It had a bad pump. I just decided to put a electric one in it because it was so much easier, and you can throw them in the glove box of your truck and they're $10 a piece, and who cares? So that's on there. I'm going to tighten that up a little bit and run a line to it. So right here's the old fuel pump. We're going to run it right past that. Here's the actual fuel line right here. So we're going to hook right into that, and then we're going to mount it. Okay, what I've done here is I've connected my positive wire to this white cable that runs directly into the brain box up here. Forget the actual name of it offhand. That's a good spot to go to because it's only going to be on during the ignition being on, so it's nice and easy. And then my black wire, I've run a wire all the way back to the firewall, nice and easy, nothing to it. I've connected my fuel hose to the original factory steel hose down there. I've completely, gone past this one. This was a new fuel pump and it didn't work right out of the box. I think the camshaft might be, lobed off at the end there where that fuel pump is. So we decided to go with the electric style, make it work a little bit better. I think we're going to cheat a little bit and spray a little bit of the good stuff in here since it's been sitting since September or so. A bit of that. Let's crank it up. Straight six, never let you down. All right, let's get this sucker out of the snow and over to the shop. Well, clearly spring is sprung here. Why else would I be digging this out of a snowbank, right? This is only two-wheel drive though, so we'll see how it goes. It does have some nice meaty 31s on it, but I would suspect we'll get stuck. Got that all hooked up there. What I've done is I've put the pull rope right in the center of the hitch, and then just put a bolt through the whole apparatus so it doesn't pull down or out or anything. It's the best kind of way to do this without putting a bunch of tension on it. Okay, see what it does. Nothing to it. It wasn't very stuck, except you see how it just sits in these divots like that? Makes it awful tough for a two-wheel drive to get up out of all this, even if it's just a little bit. on all your wheels, it sort of adds up. There she is. She's all freed up. Nice to see her out and about. So let's take it for a little spin down to the shop. I'll tell you a little bit about what we need to get to do to this thing. Starts right up every time. But if you didn't notice, that starter grinds to beat the band horribly. The brake sticks on the left-hand side of it. That's no fun for anybody. Let's get past the bumpy part here. But really, it's not a bad truck at all. It's, you know, 42 years old, 43 years old. It still goes down the road really nice. I took it on a couple 100-mile trips last year. But the big reason I stopped driving it really was because the alternator seized up. The whole pulley did, or the actual implement inside, and the belt was real tight on the thing, and the power steering stopped working. It's working right now, but it'll seize up again, and or it's just spinning on that alternator pulley itself. The belt's probably so glazed. And then the bolt was seized into the actual alternator itself, where it went to the bracket. So I'm gonna have to address those things, be able to drive this thing in the summer again. I do like driving this in the summer because it is just kind of a cool cruiser. You know, put your windows down, put your wing windows out. It's just a nice feeling. And it's not a modern truck, but they were building these truck bodies up until 1997, so it's not like terribly outdated or anything. It still feels like you're driving a halfway modern vehicle without just shaking down the road like from something from the 60s or 70s. So I like it. I think we're going to do a whole other episode of me just kind of fixing it up, what it needs, what it's going to take to get right. But for me, it's sort of that in-between between like a classic and a work truck. It's totally usable, but it's not a showpiece. It's got rust, it's got dings, it's got dents, but you get some eyeballs when you drive around this thing, because people, especially up in the Midwest, stuff just tends to rot out a bit more and doesn't stick around as long. So we save what we can and have fun with it. But I like this truck. So let me know, guys, is this a truck that you would rock? Would you be driving around a 1981 F-150 today? I am. Let me know if you are. Thanks, guys.